no matter who you elect at whatever office, without an individual change of heart that takes and reaches out and cares for those as we should, we're not going to change the direction of this country. We have a heart problem.
That's right.
It's time to replace political correctness with common sense and God's precepts at the public policy level. Romans tells us civil authority is from God. We're not called to sit on the sidelines. We can influence Texas, we can influence individuals' lives, and we can influence this country if we get that message right. And it starts in the pulpits and the congregations and the pews of every church across this country. One of the most proudest things I can say that I had a very active role in, anybody that knows me and has been down in the state capitol, there's probably an estimated 18,000 Texas babies walking the streets today because of direct legislation that I had involvement in. Sanctity of life. Sanctity of life from conception and the natural death is something that we will debate in our state house and our state senate every session. We cannot stand on the sideline on those debates and arguments. So sanctity of life is something that you'll never see me run from because it's God's greatest gift. Some of the things that we're exhibiting on the border today were predictable. We have a welfare state with open borders. A country cannot have a welfare state with open borders. The things that we see happening at the border with the pull and the magnet of drawing people in is reflective of a welfare state. This country was built on a work state. It provides opportunities for those that have little or none to come in here and work. And we have to get back on that message at both a state and federal level, at a community level. Having work provided, our opportunity to work, is far more an act of love and kindness and compassion than providing a safety net that ultimately ends up being a hangman's noose. We did pass voter ID. It is currently still being challenged. I think it will prove muster. We push back on Obamacare. It is not the answer for health care in the state of Texas, nor is it the health care for answer for their federal system. On fiscal matters, don't spend all the money. I fought hard to protect the rainy day fund. The state of Texas is having budget surpluses, and there are those people that continue to say we need to raise taxes. That's inconsistent to me. There's one taxpayer, that is the individual. Now, whether you call it corporate, consumption, property, or otherwise, there's one checkbook that writes that check. And we are having budget surpluses. We should be putting hay in the barn and preparing and fixing those long-term needs that we have kicked the can on. But to say we have to be raising taxes at any level in today's economic environment and prosperity that we are having in Texas doesn't make sense to me. On education, spend the money in the classroom, give discipline back to the classroom, and make education relevant for all students. We started that with HB 5. That'll be a continuation of what we started. It is positive. It will be the most transformational education ever produced in this state, and it is probably one of the brightest things that the legislature's ever done. We'll continue to do that. If I had to name one thing on a practical, just ground level deal, urbanization in Texas is happening at a rapid rate. Rural West Texas is definitely outnumbered as a representative. There's 25 representatives from Harris County alone. There's 16 representatives west of I-35. So one county has twice almost the representation. We have to have strong, active, educated leadership in the Senate and the House, making them understand why rural West Texas and rural values and rural ideas are important to the state of Texas. And that ties up water, that ties up property rights, that ties up a whole host of other things, education agendas that may work in Houston that do not work in Lubbock, Texas. So this is the battle that is in front of us. I am no more than who you're looking at. You will get the same answer every day. I'm pretty transparent. I'm reminded that a very bright man said one time, Martin Luther King, we came over on different boats, but we're all in the same one now. And I think that is something we need to remind ourselves. We all want what's best for our families. We all want what's best for this country. But it just seems today that some of the arguments of what best means is very, very different than what I grew up with. This is going to be a hard campaign. I think it is pivotal for this region and this state what this Senate district seat holds. The wars that we're going to face for rural versus urban are real. They're going to be every day, and they're going to be somebody always trying to figure out how to take something we have up here and down.